Today we need to get into Jimin recently being deleted and removed from some content and what that is about. We need to get into people saying Jimin is addressing the gay comments, and then we need to get into someone apologizing over Taehyung and what happened there. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey Spling Mug merch, and let's go. We need to talk about an apology that was issued and what that was about. Apparently someone issued an apology to V, and it definitely wasn't necessary, but of course for ARMYs, for fans of BTS, it definitely is necessary. Because people will rip apart or hurt anyone who they believe hurt V, even if V isn't hurt. So what happened today? V was recently on a variety show called Running Man. This is a very popular variety show in Korea for those who don't know. It's one of the longest running shows, and one of the reasons it's so popular is due to its several popular celebrity appearances. The show is basically about 7 regular cast members getting together with a few different guest stars each week to compete in various missions that result in the loser or losers being embarrassed and the winners being rewarded. As you can imagine, this is very fun, and it gives us a chance to see our favorite guest idol in a situation in which you wouldn't see them in. Run BTS was a show that BTS and HYBE created to emulate this style of variety show. So if you're interested in seeing more things like Running Man, but with all the BTS members, then check out Run BTS. If you would like to join me and some other dumplings in reacting to Run BTS, then make sure you check out the Patreon linked below at the top of the description. I treat Patreon as sort of a secondary streaming site, so if you're interested in seeing a bonus content, check it out. In this particular episode of Running Man with Taehyung, everyone plays a sort of gambling game. Apparently during some sort of cute mishap with the game, actor Ji-Suk-jin playfully gave Taehyung a slap on the cheek. Taehyung played it up as you do on TV and pretended to be hurt by it. But it was obvious the slap wasn't super hard and Taehyung's face wasn't super red. Ji-Suk-jin then begged Taehyung to say that he was okay and that those words needed to come out of his mouth. And then Ji-Suk-jin expressed that he is terrified over the slapping and over the potential backlash that he might receive after slapping him, knowing the power of ARMY. Overall, fans thought it was hilarious, saying that Ji-Suk-jin was really panicking and overall no one was really upset over the slap. Of course, he did apologize on camera, so no one, not even Taehyung, could be upset about that. And this goes to show that people are aware of the power and ability that BTS fans have. And I would like to take a moment to say that this is exactly why when a female idol gets into a dating rumor with BTS members, this is actually their worst nightmare. They do not want that to happen, and if it does happen, they're fully aware of the type of backlash and hate they will get. People in the fandom love to call anyone that does anything with BTS to be clout chasers and all that stuff, but is it really? Because let's say an actress is reported to be dating Taehyung and then gets death threats, she is not going to be able to book movies or shows after the rumor, because fans will attempt to boycott it or mass email the movie executives making up lies of her doing terrible things, trying to get her removed from the production. And this isn't to say that all the BTS fans or ARMYs are like this. I wouldn't even say majority, but a lot of people in the fandom do these types of things. And people have hated on the other BTS members without the other members of BTS actually ever doing anything. Jimin, for example, has been a victim of death threats, and I don't know if it's completely a situation of where the quote-unquote call is coming from inside the house, where it's the fandom sending threats, or if it's a situation where it's another fandom and people just think Jimin is the easiest target. And that does happen, right? K-pop fans are notoriously great at figuring out how to sniff out people they think are weak and targeting them. So I don't know. However, recently Jimin was under target again, and people are saying it's coming from ships. And I want to make a disclaimer. I have nothing against ships at all. But if ships are the reason you're sending hate or sending ugly messages to people, or if someone doesn't support the ship you support and you think it's okay to berate them, then you're the problem. And it's no longer about the ship, but those specific really scary types of people, if that makes sense. So let me give some backstory on that. There was recently a live stream with Taehyung, Jungkook, Jimin, and RM. These are also the last of them that have not fully enlisted yet. However, they plan on enlisting very soon, and I've already initiated that process. People are calling this live stream of the last, and there's been many people screenshotting and talking about these specific moments. Some moment in particular are moments where we see Jungkook and Taehyung either look at each other or looking at the people in between them, Jimin. Now, to give even more context here, the subset of really intense and crazy people who ship Taehyung and Jungkook hate Jimin. And I do not mean all the people who ship Taekook. I mean the intense, scary people that I mentioned earlier. So those people ended up editing editing out Jimin from the photo and from in between Jungkook and Taehyung to make it appear that Jungkook and Taehyung were looking at each other. In reality, they probably did look at each other, but they also looked at Jimin because Jimin was sitting in between them. But it's interesting to literally completely Photoshop Jimin out in an attempt to make the ship look more real. Now, the ship could be real, but if you go through the lengths of needing to Photoshop things together to prove a point, then that doesn't make the ship look more real. In fact, it'll make it look fake for needing to go through those measures. Jimin gets a lot of hate as is. I wonder how he would feel looking at screenshots from his latest appearance to see that he is getting photoshopped out. Jimin has also been a victim of being cropped out of photos where he appears in, and this is usually supported by, oh, we just wanted to highlight Jungkook, so we edited Jimin out. But in this case, when someone is being photoshopped out, there is no explanation other than these people hate Jimin. And I guess if Jimin and the rest of the group are going to be leaving for a little bit, why not just express your true feelings now? Celebrities get hate all the time, and I don't necessarily think it's weird to get hate given how big they are. I think it's weird to get very intense hate, like when I see people say, oh my god, I can't stand so-and-so, they're so annoying and I hate seeing them with a passion. Well, first of all, when you leave comments about the person you hate on a video about the person that you hate, how social media works is you'll get more of that person recommended to you. And if you keep leaving comments, you'll literally have your entire feed and world of just that person you hate. And each social media platform is believed to be watching your movement on other platforms too. So if you're getting recommended a bunch of content from someone you don't like, but then interacting with it, you'll get shown that same person on another platform when you open it. So be conscious and just don't interact with the content you don't like. Second of all, I tend to have to remind myself when I don't like someone that I see online that we don't actually know them. We are seeing a snippet of them, and when I see someone who makes singing videos or videos that are not about their personality and they get people calling them bad people, I get very confused. It seems a lot more like projecting, or that person you see on screen looks like someone you know in real life and don't like them, and you're just transferring the person you don't like onto the person you see on screen. Because I've met so many people that I've seen their videos, music, whatever it is, and they are almost a completely different person in real life. For example, if you see someone as being more provocative online, they could be more reserved in real life. So if you hate them for being provocative, you'd probably be fine with them in real life. Jimin, for example, is a huge victim of this, and people also like to ask him if he's gay in a more insulting way than a way where it's actually about his sexuality. They think it's an easy target and want to call him gay so they can feminize him and make him appear quote-unquote less than a man. During the previous last BTS stream, there was a moment where Jimin was touching Taehyung a lot, like on the chest, arms, etc. People were taking this as Jimin admitting that he is in fact gay. Of course, this isn't necessarily a hate comment, but just something funny. However, this is used often against him, and it's funny that this is still something we can use against someone. I hope the people who decide to criticize or attack people online realize one day that what they're doing is really bad, and they'll get their karma. And maybe that karma is that they'll see the celebrities they insult will stick around and be shoved in their faces. Who knows? But I imagine it's quite scary if you're an idol to wake up every morning to people threatening you every time you do something. And so they might get away with that online, but in real life they won't, and it'll catch up to those people. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.